Hi guys, Jethro here from Triathlon. Today we're just going to focus on one of our exercises that I think is commonly misunderstood when we're performing our strength and conditioning. In our glute generator series, we're really thinking about how we're activating and strengthening particularly this posterior chain. So looking at our glutes, looking at hamstrings, and the reason why we do that. Well, as ever, we look at our t-shirt muscles first. We look here and here, and the common thought is that the stronger that our quads are, the better we are at the bike, the better we are at the run. Actually, our main force generator in those two disciplines in particular is our glute, hamstring, and then finally calf. At the moment, I'm a bit obsessed with co-contractions. So when working with Trident, you're not going to have isolated clams or any isolated muscle group. Our muscles need to work together. And when we think about our run and bike in particular, we're not having a glute work on its own. Normally the sequence is glute, hamstring, and then a force transference into our calf. So we need to really focus on that. They're not the sexiest exercises, but I think you'll find if we slightly change our bias towards them, we'll see a difference in our performance. So the glute bridge is the one I'm really focusing on today. I think it's a great exercise, but I think with a little bit of tweaking, it can become one of your mainstays and really find a weakness within that posterior chain that you can work into. If we're thinking about performance and optimizing that performance, by becoming more powerful here, by actually improving those co-contractions, will increase efficiency and contraction on the bike. Obviously this can bleed into our race distances. If we're more efficient when we're cycling or running, that's going to absolutely save our energy, and also it's going to improve our overall time. So, the humble glute bridge. It's not a bad exercise, but I just feel that it can be improved. So, classically people will point their toes up, they'll be here, and then first thing we do is go into that position. Now again, I can feel some contraction. Obviously my hamstrings, calves, they're going to contract a little bit. Glutes are pretty switched off. This is the problem. My back, people go into hyperextension. They fire their back up. And if we think about it, our back is a massive, strong muscle in our body. If that's firing over time, our other muscles don't need to take up the slack. So I like to bias it slightly by using our trusty foam roller, which most people have these days. If you don't, get it on a step, get it on a box, be inventive. So the first thing I like to do is put your feet on, and you're naturally going to want to point your toes up. But again, we're thinking co-contraction, we're thinking calves engaging alongside our hamstrings and glutes. So feet pointed forward, straight away I'm activating my calves. And again, we're thinking a little bit of a smaller lift off the floor, but actually straight away that's better. I'm feeling hamstrings, I'm feeling calves really working. Glutes are kicking in and back is just stabilizing, it's not overworking me. And then back down. Now again, you can start in many positions. You can start at the shorter lever, coming up and then down. And again, what this is going to do, it's going to bias certain points of our hamstring and our calves. I always like to vary it because again, you may find a weak spot within that chain. For me at the moment, I'm really working on that long levers. This is generally the hardest, and from a capacity point of view, we want to get our calves, hamstrings and glutes overloading with that high capacity tolerance. If we can do that, we're going to perform better on the bike and run. So we're there, squeezing up, again, back switched off, and that is really hitting calves. Long lever of the hamstring, that's a great exercise. And what you can do, vary it again. I do some longer holds, and then I do some more repetitions. Now, little tip on anything that we do with our strength and conditioning, if we go onto one leg, naturally, onto one leg, our glutes have to fire up. They have to stabilize a little bit more. So we can play around with that. We can do the same movement, but in single leg. So remember, calf pointing, other leg off, and again we're thinking, engaging here. Now then, straight away, my glute is firing up hamstrings and calves. This is quite a difficult exercise, but it naturally forces that glute medium max to really fire up and down. Don't be afraid to get some weight on. You can grab some weight, pop it on here as you get better, and then raising up. So we're overloading that side. We can rep it out, and then also we can hold. And again, for the most experienced, you can play around with either adding weight or increasing that lever. And what you'll tend to find is at a certain point it'll be a lot harder, and that's where we need to work into. Get you more robust and stronger with increased performance, but also we might stop that injury from happening, which will take us out of a race. Brilliant. So that's our glute generator series, really looking at the glute bridge and how we can focus on that to make it a bit more specific for our triathlon. Particularly with our races coming up, we need to be optimizing that performance. It's all a little bit stressful at the moment with the changing of the season and the races being postponed. It's always a good time to start some strength and conditioning. With Trident, it looks at about 30 to 40 minutes, once or twice a week at max. It's meant to complement your training and not take away from it. So for any other info, watch out for these videos. We've got a lot more content coming up over the next month or so. Subscribe, look at our YouTube channel for all the videos, and if any questions, just get in contact in the comments.